Matty, Colin's frozen, John, so you might want to jump in here. This is brilliant. We've timed it perfectly. Like Colin always does like a little bit of a freeze. Not always, but he does a freeze refresh as it comes back.
I'm
Uh,
one of the three of us with a decent internet connection.
and there he is. Colin, who are you?
Colin, but my internet connection's fucking excellent. It's just
Oh.
finished this. It's no.
So, welcome back, Colin. For a split second, we missed you there. And
I came back.
welcome.
It just as you said, Colin's frozen. I was like, oh, and I refreshed it. So anyway, apologies to Rodor in public as you referred to them earlier.
Nice one. Not all of them mind, obviously, one of them can't stand me. So, at least one. At least one. One that we know
The
of.
one that's out there telling
Aye.
everybody that.
Let's tell
Right.
everybody. Thank
That's
you.
how movements start, though.
Aye, that's it. You need a trailblazer.
Yeah.
Don't you? Like,
I'm actually trolling Lawrence Delalio at the moment. I've been listening to Lawrence Delalio's podcast, and honestly, it's actually all right. Right? It's like the rugby equivalent to the Gary Neville and Roy Keane one, and it's decent.
Mm-hmm.
See, once the episode gets halfway through, he starts like this. And now you can hear him snipping, or all I can. I'm like sensitive to that kind. I'm like, oh for fuck's sake! So I keep putting it on. Like, if somebody get Lawrence a tissue, I put in the comments on Spotify. Is there any tissues about? Give me the address. I'll send something. Like nobody's responded to these comments yet. Somebody must read them though at the production company. Go and see if any of you are listening. Go and get Lawrence the boys fucking nose.
We'll have folk sending us Red Bull and coffee for you yawning, Colin.
That's just a habit rather than actual tiredness, I think.
Aye. Right, what have we got on the YouTube comments? Me has said, looking forward to Thursday. Hopefully changes Nicky and Miguel would be great. Steve said, evening troops. Optimistic for Thursday. Last Thursday was frustrating, huh? Yeah, we'll be talking about that in a minute. I'm liking this one for Dan. Evening Cuntos. Yes, evening. A good approach, Dan, as well. John said, evening, gents. Just want to say ha ha ha, Sevco. And Stevie said, evening. Oh, Jay, I'm just talking to the chat, the internal chat amongst the chat started already, and that always
That's confusing.
I get lost when that happens. Ronnie said, hi, bangers. Any idea if it's Solid Sports that's doing the Legia game? I don't think it's been announced yet, but it probably will
did
be.
not say it was BBC? I saw somebody say it
Is
was
it?
BBC. It might have been Hibs.net and it might not be actual factual, but I'm sure I've seen somebody because they were a week ahead saying the game's on BBC Scotland and they went, no, that's the home leg.
Ah, right.
The away leg, sorry. The away leg, the home leg's on Scotland.
So we haven't fact checked that, right? So it might not be actual factual, but we think it's possibly on BBC.
I was just thinking, fuck, I'm going to have to pay for football again. But we'll see. Maybe it's on BBC.
Aye.
John, I think I know, and you know, that that's not true.
Listen. I'm a loyal subscriber of Soiled Sport. I've been a subscriber since what was the Duisburg game.
Mm-hmm. I paid Solid Sports for the away games. I've paid legitimately for them. Aye.
They've been bang on the thing that I've been borrowing.
Aye, but I didn't want to risk it. Like I thought, if there's a legitimate stream, I'd rather watch that and no risk it being like fucking 2 minutes behind or like
I've not found that.
No buffering or anything. I thought just watch it legitimately, but they might paying for things if they're available. I'll buy it.
I went for the game and I stayed for the players' name pronunciations. Jordan Abitza, it's phenomenal.
Terrific. Right. What we're covering tonight. So obviously there was no weekend game. Our match with Falkirk was postponed. But we will look back on Thursday's game and we'll look ahead to next Thursday's game. Also notable was the sad passing of Rod Petrie this week as well, which was announced on Friday morning on the Hibs channels. Rod's obviously like a hugely significant figure for the club. And I think what we're going to do is tomorrow night on Extra Time for a Subscriber episode is look back properly at his time at Hibs. Almost kind of walk through the timeline from when he came in to when he left and just look at the impact that he had on the club because he was, I think, fair to say, a fairly divisive character. I think people who knew him well, spoke very, very highly of him. Certainly, the very few dealings that I had with him were all good. And you could see by the sort of the warmth that came out about him afterwards how many people thought highly of the guy. So our thoughts are with Rod's family and friends, and obviously associated with the football club. And we'll, I hope, do that justice when we do Extra Time tomorrow. So we'll cover that. It should be a good episode because I think he was involved in obviously some key things that's happened at the club, not least of which was the the Scottish Cup one, which was no doubt his highlight. Colin, I'm going to hand over to you to ask some questions about Thursday's game. So, yeah, you can jump in here.
All right. Did we speak about what done at the weekend or that? Would you just want to get straight in the game?
Do you want to talk about what you did at the weekend?
Did you do something you want to talk about?
Nah.
You were at a Hibs game this weekend, so you can tell us about that if you want.
I was. I suppose you could talk about that because, well, I'll tell you that. I was in Aberdeen yesterday and the under-17s got a good 7-3 win. But the women are away this week in the Champions League, so I suppose we should say good luck to them. They've got 2 games on. I think it's Thursday and Saturday, or Wednesday and Saturday, the 2 games. So it's like a 4-team tournament, and I think the winner goes through to the Champions League, and then second and third might drop to the Europa or something like that. So good luck to them. But obviously they're without McAloney, who signed for Southampton today.
I saw that.
Ex Longbanger. What's the word? The
alumni.
That's the word. I couldn't get it out. Aye. So she's good luck to her.
Do you think she heard good things for what's his name? Whittaker when he went down? Was it Whittaker? Who was the ginger lad that went down recently? Rory Whittaker.
Aye, you're right.
Just Matty had a confused, quizzical look on his face there, like, what the fuck are you talking about, son?
I was just trying to think whether you were trying to start a rumour.
No, not at all. No,
so
just
they might be getting involved with that.
No, nothing like that.
He's a bit young for us. He's mid-20s. He's a young laddie. Is that the kind of rumour you were thinking?
No, just that they would tell each other about the football teams. That's the thing where you were going with. But a good win for your Hibs side. The call was a 7-3.
7-3.
Aye. So, terrific stuff.
So, but aye, it was good. But aye, other than that, no. I'll fit it in later on somewhere else.
You've got to sort of look at. You can see John how excited he is to tell us about
I'm
not
excited. I'm not excited. It's not good. Right. Anyway, come on, my daughter called. Right, come on. We've got. This isn't what I was going to say. This is something else that just came to me with. We've got a wee shopping list, right? We've got a whiteboard on the fridge in the utility room, right? And it's got a what do we need for Tesco at the weekend or any other supermarket we might use. And she had went earlier on, this water's too hot when I'm washing the dishes. And I was like, it's not that bad. And she was like, can we get gloves for it? I was like, aye, put it on the board. Can we show it on the board? Sink gloves.
Sink gloves.
Sink gloves. Oh, marigolds are washing up.
Rubber gloves even. Just get some sink gloves on. Good.
That's kind of laughing because she kids have said that now. She's going to tell her and I'm going to get my arse kicked later on. Anyway, right. Anyway, Thursday, right? I wasn't at the game. I couldn't go. Didn't he explain why? Or does no matter?
Well, I mean, you don't have to explain why. There will be people who will go, "Oh, that company's even at the game." No, how can they can't talk about the football if one of them wasn't at the game?
Yeah,
I'm not listening to that shit.
I know. I had to miss it. So, as you know, it was my wife's birthday last week, and she got tickets for her birthday to AC/DC. And so I went to that, which I only know about 4 of their songs, right? So it was good. It was good, but
enjoy it, yeah.
Not fully my cup of tea, but it was good.
Did she enjoy herself? That's the main thing. It's not really about you, is it? In that event,
no, it's her birthday, and she enjoyed it, and she wanted to go, and we went, and they were good, but they're very fucking noisy for an old man like me.
Very fucking noisy.
Anyway, that's where I was. So I didn't see the game. I've seen some of the highlights, but not even all of them. I've not even searched them out, right? So I've read stuff about it. So I need you guys to inform me how it went. So tell me about it. What was the atmosphere like? And then tell me your thoughts on the team that was named John.
Do you want me to do that in order?
You take the atmosphere, and I'll go him about the team. Because he done the phone in, right? And we've heard folk, but he doesn't get to give his opinion. So I think we'll go to him for the opinion on the team.
I thought the atmosphere was relatively subdued compared to the second leg against Belgrade. However, I think that was probably influenced by the fact that it was the first of a 2-legged affair, so it didn't have the same sort of like that says spice to it, if you like, or it didn't have the like we've still got a second leg to go through. Whereas if we'd put in a good performance against Belgrade, if we got the result, we went through. And of course, like all of that, like the whole, you had Bowie's goal, for example, you've had Cadden's tie-winning goal in extra times. But but the atmosphere at the start of that game was definitely a bit higher. It was the same number of bodies at Easter Road on Thursday. It was just a wee bit. I just felt that it was a wee bit less, given the stage of the game that we were at, or the stage of the tie.
It's probably what I would have expected that, actually, just because it's not got that, it's no finishing that night, is it? No matter what happens. Because the other two went to extra time, obviously. So team came out. Now I can't remember what the team was, so I'll get it up, and everybody will remember what it was. But what did you think of the team, Matthew?
I was quite happy with it, to be fair. When it came out, it was interesting because obviously we had the game on Sunday against Livingston, and we saw Chaiwa there, who really, really impressed, and Manny had a good game. So, and Clegy also. So there was like the three, like I'll class Manny and the new guy. Well, he wasn't obviously because he was here last season, but like the three that we haven't seen a lot of, really shone in that game, and you thought there was a reasonable chance that they might start. But then you had the players that Gray's kind of hung his hat on for the European campaign so far. So there wasn't really that many surprises for it. I was disappointed McGrath couldn't make the starting lineup. I think that would have helped. And before kickoff, I was pretty happy with it. Like I saw it, I was like, well, it is what it is. I think I've listened to sort of a lot of discussion about it since, and I'm always like kind of open to sort of changing my mind on things. So my thoughts at the time were that team's fine. I think it was a friend of the podcast, Dave Graham, who really sort of complained about Campbell almost being hung out to dry by getting played out on the left. And
that was the same in the last leg, remember?
But Dave complained about that as well.
Because I agreed with him.
I argued it, and then I sort of reflected and think, actually, I probably do agree with him. And when you see how we concede the goal, because I think the system was all right. Like we limited them to very few chances. The goal comes to a soft as shit penalty, and then the mistake for not just Campbell, but Campbell sort of is the root cause, if you like. And you think, well, if we didn't have that system, Campbell wouldn't have been there to make that mistake. And so does it fall back on the manager? But I would be lying if I called it out before the game. But as man, so I was quite happy with the lineup.
And you know what? And I know, so I did have an opinion on the team still, even though I wasn't at the game. But when I saw the team, I thought, well, McGrath's out, so Campbell's in, assuming it might be the same formation that worked last season. But I think it's that tweak to the formation next. I'm looking on the BBC there, and it's a 3-4-2-1, whereas it was a 3-4-1-2. We always picked, when we were doing our preview shows last year, we always picked the 3-4-1-2 because that's what he'd done. That was a tried and tested, and that's what he'd done every week. But in these European games, the home ones anyway, it's been this 3-4-2-1, and it does seem to knock a bit of imbalance or something that changes some dynamic there.
I think what I would say though, and again, this is with the benefit of having talked about it, and like this is where it's good to the phone in because you get the different perspectives and the things that I didn't really think about because I wouldn't class myself as particularly good on the tactics and sort of having a lot of awareness for that kind of thing. But Ian made the point on the phone in about Campbell getting picked specifically for that sort of pressing role. And the high press, and you need somebody to do the running. And the reason it didn't work is because he gets booked early doors. So which kind of nullifies the work that he's doing. But if you think before that booking, he creates a chance. I think it was before the booking, but he creates a chance for Bowie. Just by sort of being busy in the box, he takes it off the defender's toe, cuts it back for Bowie, and Bowie sort of does a short cross, and he plays it across the goal. And we should probably score for that situation, but we don't. But that doesn't happen if you've not got Campbell on the team because McGrath's not that kind of player to go and make that challenge. So I can see why he was in there. And like I said, happy enough when the lineup was announced. In hindsight, I agree with Dave that I think it's don't necessarily fair on Campbell playing him in that position. I think it was a mistake to do it.
John, any you disagree with that, or did you have any different thoughts when you saw the team?
Nah, I think to echo what Matty was saying about not being especially tactically minded, like I spend most of my time at the start when the team lineup comes out mentally putting players into position, right? That he goes there, that's out of midfield.
And then trying to work out what song it is that comes on after the Joyful Come.
If anyone knows the tune that comes on immediately after Joyful Kilmarnock Blues, please get in touch because it's got a lovely wee beat to it.
And the astounding thing is, we've asked Barry. And
he's
never
just patched me.
answered it. Aye. He answered something, and he never answered that. So,
Oh.
aye, like somebody tell us what it is. It's no that. What's it? Prides.
It's no Prids.
It's
It's
no
no
Prids.
Prids every day.
It's the one before that, but after the Joy of Planet Blues. That's what we're
Aye.
trying to do because John likes it.
Should say a wee congratulations to Barry, by the way, just while we're Barry always does a shout outs at half time. They never gives Barry a shout out. So congratulations on your engagement, Barry. There you go.
Right, well done.
But thoughts on Campbell, thoughts on the team. I didn't really have any great thoughts on it. Like I think because it came through the game previously, and I think one of the things that I never mentioned in the Livy game is that Campbell looked like one of the more senior players. Like, and so sorry, let me explain that a bit more fully. When Hibs played against Livingston, because we'd made a number of changes, I viewed him as one of the senior players within the team who was helping the new guys settle in and kind of get that result over the line. I think to Matty's point, he's probably right that early booking maybe takes the edge off. Like, and as it would with any player, getting a booking that early in the game.
Was it soft, the booking, or did they deserve it?
I've only seen it once at the time.
Right.
And I was talking to Leon about this. And I talked about a plucky underdog bingo card because that's kind of the way that I saw the game going. So we had an early chance, Josh Mulligan. We've had an early booking for Josh Campbell. We've conceded a dodgy penalty. Had several missed chances. I want to say like 3 or 4 where it looked like there was maybe a ball across the front of the box. There was like a glancing header that looked like it should have gone in. Shitey ref, and then we've had the late hope from Josh Mulligan getting us back to 2-1. I don't know how that's going to factor into the second leg. I thought we had a lot of early pressure that Warsaw, I wouldn't say they soaked up. I think they got a wee bit lucky.
They did.
But then they started to grow into the game and were quite happy to knock the ball about and put us under pressure and also soak up any pressure that we tried to put on them. So we were kind of restricted to those. Well, actually, on reflection, were we restricted? I was going to say we were restricted to very little, but actually the chances that we did create were pretty good. We just never put them away. And I think that was maybe the difference between us and them because they got that chance where Campbell's lost the ball. But then I think there's maybe been, 2, 3 passes after that, and there's been one dink to the back post. They've had the quality to put it away. Sorry, I realise I've gone off on a tangent here. That was nothing to do with Campbell.
Just Josh Campbell go booked. Like,
what we're saying in the booking is Campbell was furious with the boy for his reaction for it. Like he
remonstrated for a bit after.
Absolutely, like he was speaking to the guy, he was speaking to the referee, he was kind of, oh my god. And sort of, players do that even when they can. Like players put their hand up to claim for a throw in after they've just fucking run the ball out to play. You can't really trust a player's reaction for it. But I didn't necessarily think Campbell's a player like that. And to demonstrate with the player so much, I'm not sure how much contact.
I think you can sometimes tell the difference, and they say that on the TV, don't they? For like penalties, you can. It's the instant reaction. It's not that half-second think. I'll blame this.
I think the instant reaction for the Warsaw player was to go down like he'd been shot. And Campbell's never hit him with any sort of degree of force. Like I think there's been contact. I think he's maybe like clipped his foot as he's gone through, trying to legitimately win the ball. The referee sees it differently.
He should never have gone for the ball. Like it was a tackle, he was never winning. Like it was a stupid booking. Like if you're being hypercritical at that level, you can what the player's going to do. Like you can they're going to roll over and give fucking hell, my leg's hanging off, and like didn't give them the opportunity, and it was like one of these like a 70-30 where he's just not going to win. You didn't need to be lunging into a tackle like that. He slid for fucking ages, kind of half the pitch to fucking make the tackle.
Those tackles, even in the Scottish League, when they've got the ball back in a defensive position, and you're going, didn't he tackle him?
Yeah.
They've got to fall down, they've got to kill like didn't he be fucking stupid? But it must be like 8 times out of 9 times out of 10 they do.
How much do you think Campbell's attempt at that challenge was influenced by the shit that he's been getting recently?
Eager to impress.
Maybe, but if anything, that just kind of brought more flack upon him.
I'm not saying it's no self-defeat. I'm just
not that I we advocate for it at all. Like I absolutely hate it when players get stuck at the games. Like I just didn't. That's a self-defeating fucking thing to do anyway. Like you're never ever going to make a player play better by fucking hounding them. But I think the impact of that is you talked about Warsaw growing into the game. The reason they were able to grow into the game is because it nullified our press, not being able to be as aggressive on it. It's just a stupid booking. Like, we need to be better at that level, and it's like I think when we do these podcasts, we're always very careful about how we speak about players. And I think it's important that we don't hang out folk out to dry. But I also think, like, we need to be honest and critical when it warrants it, and be able to have that conversation. Say it's no personal thing. Like, we're not in any way interested in hanging somebody to dry, but we need to be better. Like, at this level, if we want to progress, these are the mistakes that we need to stop making.
That and be better in all areas of the pitch. So it
100%.
wasn't just a Campbell thing.
100%, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you look at the manager for putting him there in the first place. Like the tackle, you need to look at the quality of the opposition. When we lose the ball for the second one, which I'm sure we'll come on to talk about in a wee minute, there's loads of factors about how that goal gets conceded as well. None of them are a single point of failure. Like, we never lost that tie because Josh Campbell got a booking in the first 10 minutes or whenever it was that he got booked.
Or because he was playing in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but when we're talking about it, I think we're all been doing this long enough now to kind of that's not our intention when we speak about it. But I think we still need to be able to have a sort of honest, or just a critical conversation to say, well, in this game, that's what happened, and like, it would be better if that didn't happen going forward.
Yeah.
Being a critical friend. That's what. That's a wee saying I've seen.
That's it.
So first half, what, we were 2-0 down, half time. I don't know if we've covered the goals. Was the first goal a penalty?
First one's a penalty.
So talk me through that then. I'll see what I've talked through. I've seen a shot.
Well,
and Rocky getting and blocking it, but was there something before that?
Aye, before it even gets, there's a sort of ball lands on Cadden's head. Chris Cadden on the right back. Smith's come out. So I think again, if you were to break the move up, Cadden could either knock that head of the ball out for a throw in, just play safe. He could head it back to the keeper who's made himself available for the pass. What he does is he sort of just heads it back into the mix. And then there's a second header, I think, and then their midfielder picks it up and sort of drives towards goal. Mulligan's engaging him, but Mulligan slips or he's out muscled. One of the two. Their player does well to create a bit of space for the shot. He shoots. Smith gets both hands to it, but parries it straight back out into the box again. Their striker picks it up, takes a shot. Rocky dives in to block it. It hits his arm, but his arm's tucked into his body and goes out for a corner. The referee signals corner. They're all complaining. He goes, shakes his head. He actually signals with his arms in close to his body to say, fucking, what is he meant to do? And then for some fucking inexplicable reason, VAR goes.
Is it inexplicable? Because Bobby Madden tweeted on the night or in the morning saying that that's the guidelines for the FIFA or whoever it is the rule the controlling body is.
Seemingly inexplicable at the time reason. Yeah.
So the explicable reason is that that's apparently the guidelines are given, and that anything that hits your arm or hand is a penalty. That's what they expect.
It's a shot on target.
But the referee saw it, which is the one where I'm a bit confused. I've seen the replay of it, and I wouldn't give it. And you've not seen many of them given, although I saw another one today in the Everton game. So maybe that is the new rule. Maybe that's what they're applying, or maybe it's one of the rules that they apply for a few weeks till everybody moans enough about it. Or maybe it's one of the rules where England and Scotland go, we're not giving penalties for that. But when you go into Europe, you get them given against you, and everybody fucking goes, that's mad. Because we've seen that. Newcastle got one against them, I think, last year, 2 years ago, in Champions League, and everybody went, that's ridiculous, because it wouldn't be given in England. But it is the rule, so it's like, football doesn't make things easy for anybody. Like,
do you remember a few seasons back, there was, like, the opening week of the season, it was a game at St Johnstone, and there was about fucking 3 penalties given for shirt pulling, and the referee's like, well,
I think there was loads of penalties. Yeah, in the League Cup.
Just kept fucking penalty, and then because that was the guidance that they were given, and then they went, by the way, we can't be fucking getting 3 penalties a game, so just fucking roll that back.
By the way, I think it may be more than 3.
It was mental. So I think we're maybe the victim of early season implementation, and it might be a penalty.
It was an Everton on the end. Because that's 2 I think they've had against them.
Is it?
Monday night they had a handball against them as well, I think.
It was soft. a soft penalty. I thought Rocky was unlucky. It was a good block.
Yeah.
But we should defend better. I think Smith could do better with it. I argued with Josh at the time, saying it's a good save. He's got it's a hard shot. You look at the one that he's let in the last leg where he's not even kind of got close to keeping the ball out. This one, he's got two hands to it. He's kept it out, and Josh is like, he needs to can put it around the post or out to out of the danger area, and he's really palmed it straight back in. I don't know if that's hypercritical or not. I thought the game, he's made the save. That's kind of job number one, and he's done it. And it's the defence should be picking up after that. But we sort of created that danger ourselves. I think again, going back to root cause, Cadden needs to do better with his head. Just make a better decision.
But I was obviously seeing this coming in one of the chats we're in, and everybody moaning how long it was taking as well. So it was a lengthy pause. And I think it was down the slope, maybe said on the Friday morning one, maybe checking offside.
I think they were, because there was a big appeal for offside, but I don't think the boy was offside.
It couldn't have been because they
would have called it back.
But that's how it took so long. It's not the handball call. Well, you've got to wonder. I think you told me the ref got sent to the monitor because he's got to then change his own decision.
He has to make the final decision. Yeah.
So VAR said it's hit his arm, which he said he's seen. But and that's where I'm confused, right? Because normally they would say, "Well, I've seen it, so I'm not changing it." But what he says, "I've seen it," and they've went, "Well, go and have a look at it anyway." And he's went, "I did hit his arm. That's what I said."
I wonder if the freeze frame made it look like it's come off Rocky's other. Rocky's right arm was up, and I wonder if the freeze frame makes it look like it's come off that. I don't think it does, but I wonder if that's maybe where the objectivity was needed.
It doesn't help. Obviously, there's a negative perception of VAR about, and that these things didn't help. It's the referee that's overruled his own decision there because VAR have pointed them over it. I think the Everton one the day, the referee gave it, but I've seen folk on Twitter, including Liam, who's my wife's second cousin, I think, complaining about VAR, and you go, well, the referee gave it. Like there's no VAR there. If that's the rule and the referee's given it, what's VAR? But there's that, it just builds momentum, doesn't it? About and then the 4 minutes thing, because you don't know when you're at the game. In fact, by all accounts, people on the TV didn't know what the delay was either.
They never showed the replay of it either. So they said they were checking the penalty, and then that's it. And you knew it had to be they're checking for handball because you saw the incident. But beyond that, you didn't come. I just think VAR shouldn't get involved. Like you said, the referee clearly has seen it. It's no clear and obvious. I don't care why VAR are gone. The referee hasn't missed a serious incident there, which is in the protocol. He's seen it. VAR should fucking keep their nose out at that point. It shouldn't be making it about VAR at that point. John, do you have any other thoughts on the?
I was going to ask him that.
Sorry, mate. Old habits die hard.
Cutting his grass. Do I have any thoughts on the penalty? Nah. I was thinking about the shot that Smith saved and whether there was much more he could have done with it. Like I try and think about incidents like that. I try and put myself in the player's shoes. So it's been a shot from the edge of the box that he's got very little time to react to. It's kind of straight on. So I'm thinking about angles. If it's come from somewhere else, he can maybe direct it away. But it's straight at him, so it's kind of difficult to get some. I think it might be difficult to get some direction on it in the limited time he's got available to get his hands up and actually stop it in the first place. But I'm not a goalkeeper. I'll leave that up to the guys that have got more experience in that field than me. Shit penalty to lose. I think
it's just frustrating, isn't it? When you get one against you like
that. But I think we've had these conversations about like Hibs in Europe before. So even going back to, was it Hibs against Rijeka when Darren McGregor made a mistake? So like I think Matty is right about being better, but the only way you become better, I think, is becoming more experienced, and becoming more experienced means that you get there more often.
Yeah, and accepting when you made a mistake as well, so that you can learn from it. Because I think so. Certainly, I find that like when folk are talking about stuff, some people are not, as fans, aren't willing to accept Hibs have made a mistake at something. So, but the player needs to. Otherwise, they're not going to grow and develop it and get better. Because you can always be on the negative, on the defensive, but you've got to accept sometimes that you could have done better. And if you don't accept that, you're never going
True.
to grow, are you? Anyway, right. So we lost the second goal in the first half, late on injury time. Well, presumably the VAR added on time.
Mhm.
How was that? What was that like, John?
I can't remember the exact details of it. I've only seen the sort of.
You want me to ask somebody else?
No. Sorry, no. Let
kidding.
me finish. I can't remember the intricacies of it, so I couldn't remember at the time. Campbell, for example, losing the ball. My recollection of it from the game was a ball from over on the left-hand side, west-hand side, pinged into the back post, and there's a player just finds himself in space, is able to slot it away. And one of the things I'd said to Leon at the start of the game is, not long after the start of the game, I think probably when Warsaw had started to get a bit more comfortable in the game, was I think one of the things that I think is a sort of recurring feature about teams that have a good bit of quality about them is their work around the box. So there's always like a wee run, there's always a pass available to them that the rest of us on the ground, it feels like, can he see? And then suddenly, ping, ball into the back post, goal. It's like it just happens in seconds.
Mm-hmm. But
Um,
am I right in saying, like, so I haven't not seen it, I've not seen a replay it, but did it start with Josh Campbell losing the ball, Matthew? Is that what you were saying earlier?
Aye, so we're in possession of the ball, right? And we're in a not a bad situation. So Warsaw's press is quite good. So I kind of analysed this because Josh and I fell out a bit about it
Again,
in the game.
that's what you say.
Well,
Why do you even sit together, man?
we have disagreements, and then we go back and reflect on it, and then we sort of come to an agreement on it. Like once
See,
we've
you
had a
always,
chance.
I was right all along.
Aye, one of these ones. Aye, that's it. We discuss it, and then says Dad was right. Um, so, because I was like, my initial thought was I was frustrated that Campbell lost the ball because as a straightforward pass into his feet, his touch has meant that he's lost the ball, and Warsaw have taken it and broken scored, right. And we've got players like we're not set to defend that situation because we're setting up for an attack. So they transition. John's right; their movement is terrific to kind of go, and once they get the ball, what they do with it is really good, and we should defend better after that. And Josh was like, the problem is with a beater passing the ball to Campbell, who's got 4 players around about him. And I'm like, Campbell didn't have 4, but he didn't have 4 players around about him when the ball was played in. And so, and to make the point to Josh, like, this is how fucking sad I was when I was watching it. I was like, I just did a screenshot when the ball leaves a beater's foot, right? So you can see that, like, the setup here. And what you've got is you've got a player on a beater going down to stop his pass. Levitt's just given the ball to a beater, and he's just inside him, and Levitt's covered by a player. Sorry, Iredale is played pass. So beater's on the touchline a bit further up, again with a player going out to cover him. So the only real pass that Iredale's got on is Campbell. Campbell's got one player marking him at this point. And what Campbell does is he runs, he has a look, sees a guy, and makes the run to create space. Right, it's a good wee run, except he runs towards the ball, and back towards his own goal effectively, and doing it. When he runs to make that space, there's a Warsaw player that would be the right back, I guess, bursts forward. Right, so he comes from off screen, and by the time Campbell receives the ball, he's away from his marker, but this other guy's now right on him. His first touch is so bad that he knocks it into the mix that brings the other 3 players who were marking Obita, Iredale, and Levitt into play. Like he just, his control is so bad that all of a sudden there's 4 players around him. That doesn't come for the pass; it comes to the bad touch. All Campbell needs to do, if he can bring that ball under control when it gets played into him, he can either knock it back to Smith, he can play long, he has an angle to give it to Levitt, but the easiest pass is to give it to Obita on the wing, who now has acres of space on down the right hand side for Boyle or Bowie or whoever's what you can't see off the screen, because their right backs come in and engage with Campbell, and we break that press. Like that's basically when you're playing through a press, these are the things that you need to do.
I thought you said you knew nothing about tactics and formations and that. I'm impressed.
Just told him what this, and he's telling Josh how he's wrong about it.
This is what happens when you argue with a fucking like a pro licensed coach, right? You need to evidence it. So it falls down. Like I didn't have a problem with Abita's pass into Campbell. Like Iredale's pass into Campbell. There's no too much power on it. It's along the ground. The surface is good. Campbell's run is good to free up space. It's his touch. Like he just is miscontrol of the ball plays into trouble. But then after that, the ball gets played, it's passed inside and passed inside again. So it ends up on the left hand side. Now that player's free. It's, I think O'Hora comes out to him. Cadden isn't in play because Cadden's anticipating the attack, right? So we're talking about us having a transition. Chris Cadden's taking it to play because he's further up the pitch than he would be if we were defending. O'Hora should do better to stop the cross coming in. So he sort of jockeys the guy, but the guy takes about 3 touches, has time to look up, and he dinks a beautiful ball to the back post. And Iredale, I think, is switched off on the runner. The runner comes in his blind side and scores a good goal. So these things should all be better. Like we should stop the cross. Iredale should do better than losing his runner. But I think these things happen for good play for Warsaw. And it's a good press for Warsaw as well. You give them credit. The reason that they can capitalise on Campbell's bad touch is that the press is good. So you give them credit for it as well. But basic control stops that goal happening. Like, and it's stuff that you see every day. Professional players, when they're doing the wee rondos and all the rest of it, it's like one touch, boom, 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 take the ball in. He doesn't even need to really control the ball to lay it off to Abita on the touchline. It's just a mistake. Like, it happens in games, and there was loads of other players lost the ball in that game, and they just were lucky that it never got punished. So it's no like they would hang out Josh Campbell to drive for it, because he was the only player that lost control of football in the night. Like, loads, and their players did it loads. It happens in football pitches. It just, we got punished for it when it did.
That's the most we've ever analysed a goal
Aye,
on long bangers, I think.
I think we
That's
should
probably
take
down to my presenting skills.
probably. It was a good open question.
take a moment to sit back and appreciate the analysis.
So we're 2-0 down, everybody's fucking raging. Did we boo everybody off at half
We
time?
booed the referee off. The team are all right though, and I think this is a frustrating thing, and it gets lost, and the same as it got lost against Partizan the week before. We limited Warsaw very little in that. Like the tactics, and this is where I get like a wee bit frustrated with some of the criticism towards Gray, because we were good in the game. We created enough chances to score goals. Like, and if we take them, we score. Again, I'll go back to Ian on the phone. He said, "But the point of failure was we didn't take our chances," and it's true. We could have been 2-0 before Warsaw got in our box. I think, you know, like, and it's a totally different game. Tactically, I thought our setup was good. The goals we concede are soft ones to concede, really, and not as soft as the week before.
And
but
yeah. And before we go into the second half, did Josh end up agreeing with you on was he still disagreeing?
He stormed out at half time.
But I also, like, I had to concede that we should have done better after we lose the ball as well. Like, we absolutely should have.
That's fine. It's like that game today. I was watching with my daughter, the Rangers game, and I was like, that St Mirren goal's a good goal if you score it, but if you let it in, you're raging with defence. It's like a bit of both. Anyway, second half, we lost another goal, but it got VAR offside call. Is that right? Tell me about that, John.
Aye.
Was that early in the second half? How early was it?
Honestly, I've got a complete blank in terms of like the context of time and when events occurred. I think it was around about 65, 70 minutes, maybe.
So
the goal was ruled out.
Because I'm just looking at the team lines, and we made 3 subs early, 53 minutes, which is obviously early, because normally it's 60 minutes that we make the subs now, isn't it? 16:75 usually. Do
you know, one of the questions that I asked at the game, I missed the screenshot of the lineup. I was walking down for the station a wee bit later on, and I think because of some of the chat earlier in the week about McGrath, I'd missed the pre-match press conference as to whether McGrath was going to be fit or not. So I'm at the game, see the lineup come in, or I see it briefly on my phone, and I say to Leon, who's been in the Albion for a bit beforehand, was like, "Oh, is McGrath on the bench?" No. And then subs get made in the game, and I said, "Who's that come on?" He went, "Oh, that was the boy that came on against Kelly." Like, "Oh, Manny." Like, aye. It's just fucking wrong at 2 of the 3 subs that came on about the 60th minute. So I'm never relying on him again for information about the first team or the subs. But aye, the subs came on, and it might have been just before or just after the subs were made that they've had the ball. They've had the ball in the back of the net, but very quickly Leon said he's offside. I doubted him because I knew that McGrath was on the pitch at this point. But I also doubted him because they were the Warsaw fans were celebrating. Hibs were trotting back to the centre circle, and it took a wee while, I think, for
And the
the
linesman
VAR
never
review.
gave it. Is that right?
Nope.
So there was
Aye,
no
never.
flag. So there was no flag, so everybody thought it was a goal then, because generally the linesmen get it right a lot of most of the time, 95% of the time, I think. But always seems to
Have
be
you got
against us.
the
They get it
you got
wrong.
the stats to back that up?
I think I
Got the
read it somewhere
details?
last year when I was trying to back up the point that why we need VAR to turn over the offside goals
Aye.
that go against us. But obviously he got that one wrong, but VAR corrected it for him. Despite it being blatantly obvious, because I think I'd seen messages saying he looked miles off. My daughter was at the game with her boyfriend and that, and my brother-in-law, they were all there at different sides of the ground, and everybody was saying it looks miles off. But
I tell you, it would have been a great goal. Like they moved the ball about. I mean, you talk about kind of players, teams keeping the ball and moving a team around and everything. The way that they worked the space for the goal, very very good goal. Like it would have been one of these ones you just have to had your hands up and go, fair fucks.
did that being chopped off give us a boost? You know, sometimes it's like feels like a goal
Aye.
getting one back like that. Did you see an instant sort of increase in our performance or anything?
I thought it gave us something to cling on to because at 3-0 the game's gone. Like and probably the tie is gone. Aye. I definitely felt it. It was like a wee bit of a reprieve, and I think sometimes just having something to cheer, like because obviously we sort of celebrated the goal getting disallowed. I think it gave us a wee bit of fresh impetus as well. But I think Gray's subs were quite good as well. You know, to be fair, in terms of like how we shifted things.
So he brought Cadden on, Nicky for Iredale, Chaiwa on for Levitt, and Campbell came off for McGrath at 53 minutes, which is really early. Like obviously it's half time. He's got to go in and see. I'll give him a wee row and see what happens. And then after 8 minutes, he wasn't impressed. So
Do you know, actually, now that you mentioned it, I think that was my impression at the game because the subs, like, it wasn't that 60, the obligatory 60-minute subs, it was
it's usually
53
60
minutes.
and
And
75. Yeah.
I wonder if Gray's seen enough for the team that started and he wants to change it a bit.
So did you think those guys made a difference? Who was what was I saying? McGrath, Chaiwa, and Nicky Carden. Did you see noticeable difference there, John? With any of them or all of them?
I think so. Like I described this before about like some of the players that we've got. Like Chaiwa, I think and Manny, I think are similar to Levitt, but they've also got different attributes as well. Chaiwa came on impressed again. McGrath, I don't remember too much because I think in the second half they were shooting the opposite end, so I didn't get to see too much of him in action. And who was the other one? Nicky Cadden. Nicky Cadden was over on the left. He started pinging some balls in pretty early. It was good to see him get some time.
We dropped a beat into left
in his
centre
legs.
back and put Cadden at left wing back. Yeah.
Aye. So, and actually, that's interesting you mentioned that because I hadn't appreciated that at the time. I did wonder what sort of role Cadden was going to be playing because I think when he came on in another game recently, I'd suggested that the only reason that we'd stuck him on was for set pieces rather than running about because I wasn't sure about his hamstring status. But obviously, if you've got a beater over on the left hand side or Jordan Obitsa, if you've got him over on the left hand side and Nicky Cadden plays in a similar position, then one of them's got to move. But that would explain it, especially Iredale going off.
Yeah, and then later sub on 75, bang on 75, obviously, because they've got like alarm set on their phone or something. Hoylett came on for Chris Cadden, so that meant Mulligan moved out to wing back for the last 15 minutes, I think. And obviously he scored when out there. Did he look better or good or just as good in the field out there?
I thought Mulligan had a really good game. Anyway, I saw
missed a chance early though, didn't he?
Aye, he should score. I mean, it takes a touch. I don't know why. Like you just put your foot through it and get a shot on target, but he didn't really let that affect him. I don't think. And I think what we're seeing with Mulligan is he's just like a really, really good football player.
Yeah.
And I thought he was quite effective in midfield. Although I have to say, when he moved it to right wing back and with Chaiwa and then the sort of the hard work in the midfield, like the amount of chasing down stuff, he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant against Livingston. He looks like a real find. I know you have this sort of like a honeymoon period sometimes with players where they come in, like the sun shines out their arse for a wee bit, and you look past the mistakes. And actually, Chaiwa played their centre forward in on goal at one point, and he fucked the shot up. You know, we got away with it. I talk about players making mistakes and not getting punished. That was like a bad one that everybody forgets because he had such a good game. Otherwise, I thought when the subs came in, everybody looked more effective. Mulligan looked better at right wing back than he did in midfield, I think, for at that stage of the game. Obviously did well for his goal. He just made sure he was in a good position for it. Cracking cross for a beater as well for it. Just everybody talks about Cadman's delivery, but a beater's ball in for the goal was brilliant.
Yeah. It's the strange thing about Mulligan's goal and his missed chance was that he tried to get it on his left foot in the first half for the shot goal, and which has allowed the defender to get in. But actually, his goal came from just swinging his right leg at it after the rebound.
Aye.
Whereas if he just kept on his right,
I mean, he wasn't the only one guilty of missing chances. Like Bowie's missed a chance. Campbell's missed a free header. Rocky's missed a header for a corner. I've had like a few shots here and there, but
it's a vital goal he scored, though, isn't it? To be positive,
so
to finish on a positive, because that when I seen it was 2-1, I thought, oh, that's huge. Like going in, even though we've taken a loss, we've lost the other home games this season and still went well. We've got through in one of them. Like, it's a 2-1's nothing. Like, you know, it's we go into the game next week. We don't need to go flapping. We didn't need to go run about daft for an early goal. You know what I mean? We at 2-0, you probably are thinking we need an early goal to get us in the game. Well, we got the late goal, which keeps us in the game.
I think if we've been coming back to Easter Road with a 1-goal lead, like if we had the away leg first, I would be nervous about it. I'd be going, fuck it. 1-0 was not enough to see the game out.
Yeah, because I've seen a few folk. Sorry, go on.
By the same token, chasing a goal lead, we're all right with that. Like I think we're still in quite a good position.
We're a good away team, like from the pace and that can disrupt. But what I was going to say there is I've seen a few folks saying they're not as good as Midtjylland or Partizan. I don't know, was that either? Do either of you agree with that?
I thought it points in the game. I think it points during each of the games, like both sides, whether it's Hibs, Midtjylland, Partizan, Warsaw. Like I think the game sort of like ebbed and flowed a wee bit. Like both teams have had moments during the game where they've been the one on top, and the other ones have been having to absorb a bit of pressure. I wouldn't. So it's hard to say whether I think that they looked better or worse than the others, because like I say, like I think the games have been fairly even. Like if you think back to Midtjylland, it was the ungentlemanly bicycle kick that's knocked us out.
Yeah.
With the Belgrade game, it's been the injury time winner to seal the tie, and this feels kind of like, I don't know what to say, on a knife edge, but it's finely balanced going into the next leg. And I think I maybe alluded to this previously, but I think these games, it's not just about winning the one game, it's about winning the tie. It's about kind of managing that. And I think so when in the Belgrade game, when Gray's managed to make a few substitutes, like he's kind of kept them up his sleeve, so he's injected fresh legs into the game kind of late on. I think we've still got a few cards to play going into the second leg as well. Like, so we've not really seen like Cliche being played for the 90 minutes. He had that impressive performance against Livingston. He's quick. He's got good aerial, or it looks like he has good aerial ability on him. So he's not been seen yet by Warsaw.
I think what I'm
a few other players as well.
Our away results have been better than our home results so far, right? We got a 1-1 over in Midtjylland, and we got a 2-0 win, didn't we? Partizan. So it's just been losses at Easter Road.
Aye. I think the other thing is when we played the last two teams, we've probably had 3 or 4 players in the team who have been 8 out of 10s or 13 out of 15s. I think on Thursday we didn't really have anybody better than a 7 out of 10 or what would that be, like a 10 or 11 out of 15. Like we were good without being like. Well, we had some good performers without anybody being brilliant. Like other than Chaiwa when he came on, I thought he was really good. Nicky Cancel deliveries. Maybe shifted a wee bit after the subs, but we can definitely play better. I think you can take a bit of confidence for that. Like I think if we get at least 3 players having an exceptional game in Warsaw, then we've got a real good chance.
Yeah, and hopefully nobody that's asked to come off the bench refuses to go on.
That would be another positive.
Yeah,
fucking mental that. Eh?
Did we get any? I've not got YouTube open. Did we get any comments in that you want to rattle?
We've got loads, right? So let me just pick them up. So Rob said, "Evening all, Hibs up to third without kicking a ball. Glorious." That's quite a good day. Like I noticed that
Aye.
Champions Elect dropped points again yesterday. And actually, it was a bad weekend for the supercomputer because Brighton also got a defeat today. Dan said, or no idea what channel it's on, talking about the game. Green Tea said the American commentary does my head in on Solid Sport. Highlights are on Hibs TV. Stevie asked, will Hibs be getting more than the 800 tickets we normally get for Ibrox? I think the League Cup's different for the Scottish Cup, so I think it's a reasonable amount that they have to give us. I think that's the way it's worded. What else have we got? Jamie said, R.I.P. Rod Petrie. We all loved to blame him for our woes, but all in all, we've done more good for us than bad. Stevie said, Colin's a part-time Hibs fan, but to describe the goals last time to him.
I know.
John says, what changes do we need to make for the next leg? So I think this came in for a few different people asked this sort of question. So if we were looking ahead for the next leg, where would you start, John? Like, how would you set the team up, or what would your lineup be for it?
I think it was great. I'll let John answer that or think about that while I say this, but to be able to have this weekend off
Aye,
as
super.
well. And I know Aberdeen done the same, I think.
Yeah.
Rangers chose not to because they did well at Celtic, they get too far ahead. So they gained a point, I guess, on that. But I thought it was good because that gives us the time to, we rested guys last week. They played the Thursday, so they're only playing Thursday again. I think it's a good thing that the league have allowed. Anyway, John, how would you change it?
I'm gonna start by sitting on the fence a wee bit and say I don't know how any bookings might affect, say suspensions might affect players that aren't available for the game. I don't know. However, I think Gray might have seen enough from the performance at the weekend there to make a few changes. You might even find just like a simple change, like if McGrath with the time that you mentioned, he might find himself fit and plays ahead of Campbell, for example. I think we need to. I'm trying to think about how to sort of like speculate to accumulate. So do we play Cadden earlier and try to get his deliveries because we need goals, but also you don't want to go gung ho too early because that kind of leaves you exposed potentially later in the game. So I don't think there'll be wholesale changes to the team. I think you might, if McGrath's fit, I think you'll see him start ahead of Campbell. There's been a wee bit light criticism of Boyle, suggesting that he's maybe not been as good the last couple of games. So I think Gray might have a change to make there. Might be that you play Cliche. You might start Cliche. And then you've got Boyle. Chaiwa could start. So again, I'm going to believe that David Gray picks the best starting 11. And if he thinks that Chaiwa's better, he's got a bit more. No, I know. I'm trying to answer it, but if whatever team Gray puts out, I'm going to go, that's fine. That's the team that he thinks is going to win. However, I could see the merit in playing someone like Chaiwa over Levitt because of those additional attributes. Like I think we're going to need, it might. So to use the Boyle Cliche example, maybe you start with Chaiwa, you get 60 minutes out of him, say, and then you bring in Levitt later in the game. Hopefully, when you're ahead, you can maybe take the sting out of it. Just play a few cuter balls.
Mm-hmm. Matthew, what do you think?
I think I would probably be tempted to go closer to the team that finished the game on Thursday than the one that started it. And I think it was Joe named a midfield that I really liked when we did the forum. So I think probably stick with Smith and goals, although I wouldn't be adverse to Salinger coming in. Back three, O'Hora, Rocky, and Obita rather than Iredale. Right, drop Iredale. So drop, just play a different player. No drop because his performances have been bad. But then left wing back Nicky Cadden, middle two Levitt and Chaiwa, and McGrath in the middle as well, but slightly further forward, and Mulligan at right wing back, and then either Boyle and Bowie or Cliche and Bowie as a front two. I think that looks like a decent team. You've still got Manny that can come in off the bench because I was like, right, if you're playing Chaiwa, he might not last the 90 minutes. So who comes in for him? But I think you've got a like for like in Manny. I think he can come in and do that role. He was good against Livingston. You've got Nicky Cadden can come in at right wing back if you need to change things up. You've obviously then got Boyle and Iredale on the bench. Still got Scotland Hall of Famer Hanley,
62 cap
62
international.
cap international to come in if we need him to shore up the defence. So we still have plenty of options if we do that. But I think in terms of balance and work rate and effectiveness, that midfield is probably I think that's the strongest mix for me.
And do you think
what would you do, Colin?
Do you think David Gray will follow this new method that Hearts have brought in, where they pick their squad of 20, and then for that 20, they pick like the match day 18, right? But I think it might be more than that on a European night. But then for that 18, he picks the 11, and then just sort of decides on the formation and tactics.
I hope so.
Sort of revolutionised football, I think, with
Mate,
that.
You're even a stage behind. Dell, a post match yesterday, he's taken it a step further, and he said, maybe I need to start with the best team.
Oh, well.
Maybe I need to play my best team for the start. He's gone. So it's not just about picking the squad; it's about actually trying to get a good team out for the start of the game. So
innovation across the city.
Unreal. Trailblazers. We mentioned it before.
And by the way, they're keeping profits for transfer fees, which I don't reckon if Hibs have thought of that either.
Incredible.
It's good stuff. Anyway, I never saw the game, obviously, like Stevie's pulled me up for there. But I'm no averse to trying something different. I like Chaiwa the other night. Last Sunday. And I heard good things for the midweek game. So I wouldn't. If Mulligan's good enough at right wing back, I'd maybe give him a crack there, and that would create that space in there. Because otherwise, I'd keep Mulligan's obviously playing. Mulligan and McGrath, two of the new signings have come in. They're going to their starters, right? They're starting. So it's just how do you fit? Do you bring Chaiwa in for Levitt, or do you leave Levitt in, or do you move Mulligan out of position to bring Chaiwa in? I think that's it. And then Boyle's not been firing, but it was only 3 weeks ago where he got us 2 goals to win the game 2-0. So
aye,
he's a kind of big game player, isn't he?
Fat Giraffe on Twitter said, "Is Russell Martin Lee Johnson in disguise?" Russell Martin's CV is very, very close to Heckingbottom's. I couldn't. When you look at kind of one, they brought a team up for the championship and then got relegated in the Premiership. Anyway, fuck Rangers. Martin Hunter said we might perhaps reflect on the fact that we've lost all 3 of our Euro home games. Something in the middle that can't all be bad breaks. Hi, but I think you also have to take into account the quality of the team. We've been fucking unlucky with the draw. Are tough.
And the strikes, some of the strikes, like in that first game especially.
Back to the YouTube comments, as a Green Tea said Iredale isn't a Doug. I can't remember what the conversation was about Iredale earlier that suggested he was a.
I don't know.
But
you did call Nicky. You did call Chris Cadd Nicky as well. So somebody's probably pulling you up for that. But
when did I do that?
When you were talking about Chris Cadden, you called him Nicky.
Oh, sorry.
At that point.
Difficult, right? But Iredale, definitely, I agree with that. He's not a Doug. John McGlynn says the Warsaw fans made a racket the whole match. Nice of them to sing "Stand Up If You Hate the Hearts" in Polish. Me said we would love Nicky to start, but feels not starting ahead of Beta anytime soon. But really, Iredale needs rested or dropped on a Beta play there and get Nicky in his own position. Stevie's lineup was Smith, back 3, Abita, Rocky, O'Hora, Nicky Cadden, left mid, Mulligan, right mid, Levitt, Chaiwa, central, Clegie in the 10, Boyle and Bowie up front.
What do you think Nicky Cadden's own position is? Like, just to put that up, wis it wing back, or would he fit in as that front of the left, like where Campbell played? Could he play there?
I think you'd want him deeper, but he could play there. I don't know if he's got the. I can't say the legs. Everybody talks about players having legs. They've all got legs.
But if you're playing wing back, you're up and down, up and down. Whereas if you're playing there, you're only just rounding about.
But
that's how Pep describes it.
Aye, that's these exact words. I saw that training video, Pep Guardiola masterclass. I don't know. I maybe wing back is his best role. Like Malky described, or he mentioned last season that another manager had said to him that Chris and Nicky Cadden were the best wing backs in the league. So maybe that's where the club see them. Jack said Nads has to start. And that kind of got a bit of agreement on the chat. Ronnie asked, is there anything in the Rocky and Yuan away rumours, and not seen anything about a Celtic interest in Bowie except for on .net? I've not heard anything about Celtic being interested in Bowie. Rocky, there is chat about him going. There has been since last week. I think that's
Get a
moved
release
on to
clause,
now
wasn't
that he'll go after the European games. But I think I'd be lying if I say I knew there was anything in that. Stevie said, "Why did we sell Gogic all these years ago? He's as solid as they come."
Where would they play though? Would they play ahead of Rocky or ahead of the Hall of Famer that we've got on the bench?
I don't think he gets in our team. He'd be a good option
Well,
off the bench.
he's a centre of the back three for St Mirren.
Aye, but I don't think he play Gogic ahead of Rocky. Dan said there's no harm in giving an honest opinion. Absolutely not. John said Celtic can keep their grubby paws off Bowie. Dan said if Salinger isn't allowed to start in this big game, I don't know why we signed him. He deserves a chance. And it isn't Judas and Smith. What else have we got? We've got John said I thought Warsaw played some beautiful football for large parts of the game. Really good moves all over the pitch. And Kieran said Campbell isn't only at fault for the goals, but his inability to be involved in build-up play seriously worries me. It worries me that Gray picks him over a much higher calibre player. Free Scott 62 said if we get put out on Thursday, I think we will have a great chance of coming second in the league. Thoughts? So, Colin, if we have no European distraction and given the Nicky Rangers and Celtic, and notwithstanding champions like Hearts, obviously winning everything, do we have a chance of second if we didn't have a European distraction?
Well, aye, but it's one of them. I mean, look at it last season. Like Aberdeen were going to win the league. You know, when they were in November, October time, they were miles and they had stretched so many points ahead of Rangers at that point when Rangers were shite, and yet Rangers still managed to, comfortably push second place. So I just wish we had got Rangers earlier in the league when they're like this, because I'm sure they'll start picking results up at some point, just because that's what happens. So aye, there's a chance, but we need to actually make sure we're winning games now while they're shite, because that'll continue a season.
Yeah, John, what do you think?
I think the early indications are that the circumstances exist that a team out with that isn't Rangers finishes second, but what are we 3 games into the season?
Aye.
It's pretty early. Like the early indications are that it could happen, but like
We're
there's a
only
lot
2
of
games. We're only
aye,
2.
we only
But they're
2.
3. Aye.
They're 3. So I don't know. I wouldn't put too much in that just now. I think, however, though, like when I'm describing the circumstances that exist, I'm also including the squad that we've built. That even if we get knocked out of Europe, we'll still have a lot of games to play. There'll be injuries, blah blah blah. Like we've talked previously about replacing players with better players, and I think we're starting to do that. So maybe.
Just a clarification on that Iredale is not a Doug thing. So Green Tea's clarified it. She said John McGlynn called him Airedale earlier in the chat. So yeah, it's definitely. And John clarified it was a typo. He wasn't deliberately calling him Airedale to make out that he's a terrier. Gilkey said, I think Boyle has to start with Bowie. They'll both rise to the occasion. With no game at the weekend, it'll have allowed Boyle to recover. Chaiwa has got to start as well. Stevie started talking about golf. No, we're not getting into the golf.
No, golf,
Stevie,
golf. By the way, that's mental that Celtic are getting linked with Bowie. Already. Like he's what we played 5-6 games this season. Like
we're not even playing them next week.
No. And but is it true that they're struggling? They've not bought anybody or they have, and they're shite or whatever it is. Rogers and using have they got a director of football that looks after stuff? Are they giving Rogers free rein? Doesn't matter. But then the major thing, they just go, well, that boy scored a good goal the other week. We'll just buy him. Is that like their transfer strategy?
It's
fucking crazy. The boys didn't play. Lucky if he's played 10-15 games for us.
And they can fuck off anyway. They're not getting them. Right, I think that is about us. We'll be back with extra time tomorrow. We have been trying to sort of share some of our t-shirt designs on Twitter, but every time you try to sell something on Twitter, they throttle it. So check out our Redbubble if you're interested in a Long Bangers t-shirt or a mug or a pin badge or a phone cover.
Or a mouse mat. Do folks still use them?
Mouse mats, if you use them, you can get them too. So you just go to Redbubble and search Long Bangers and you'll see all of our cracking designs there.
Do you think we could get a Long Bangers branded puppet? I saw that there was a puppeteer at Easter Road on Thursday.
Aye, well, maybe I don't have the option to make one on Redbubble, but I'm sure somebody could do one for us. That definitely gained some traction. The wee guy with his TikTok channel definitely benefited from a boost after the game there. Fair play to him.
Need 3
Uh,
puppets, so
Aye, we
Three.
would need 3.
Oh, for one
Aye.
of, oh, by the way, we could be like the Puppets. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should do
Did I
like a wee.
suggest? Did I suggest that, John?
boys only got 2
Did,
hands.
did you see the picture of Russell Martin earlier that had been done up to look like a Muppet?
Aye,
Like we would
tremendous.
look good as Muppets.
Aye,
I would like to see that.
John, you didn't say these things when things can get clipped and all the rest of it. You're too naive for this, right? We will call it a night there. Subscribers will get extra time tomorrow. It's going to be a really good episode looking back on the legacy of Rod Petrie. And then we'll be back on Friday with a phone in, hopefully to talk about a historic, successful night for Hibernian Football Club in Europe and Poland on Thursday. So looking forward to seeing